Hi, ArcfieldWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Wednesday morning, February the 19th. Very, very cold air continues to dominate the scene across much of the eastern two-thirds of the nation, especially focused on the central states where numerous record low temperatures are being met this morning, all the way from the Dakotas down to Texas. We have a map here from coolweather.com that shows all of these stations that are at record lows or near record lows, and again they extend all the way really from south central Canada down to Texas. Some of these examples here: Glasgow, Montana right now at minus 28 degrees, and many of these are breaking some long-term records here. In this particular case, this is a 71-year record in Glasgow, Montana. Let's go a little farther to the east. Jamestown, North Dakota, down to 20 below zero. This is a 59-year-old daily low temperature record. We go all the way down to Texas. Dallas has 14-degree reading right now. Rio Grande Valley, Laughlin, Texas, down to 28 degrees, breaking a 73-year-old daily low temperature record. Roswell down to 15 degrees. So again, some very, very cold air for this time of the year, for any time of the year, especially focused on the central part of the nation, from the Dakotas, Montana, all the way down to Texas. And it's very cold all the way into the eastern states as well, just not quite record-breaking cold, but very cold indeed. And we have a snowstorm that first started off producing several inches of accumulating snow in the middle Mississippi Valley. It is sliding to the east-northeast today and will produce significant snow in portions of the southern mid-Atlantic region. Well, let's walk through last night's run of the GFS. This is a conventional version of the GFS from 0Z last night, and let's look here at the 850 millibar temperature anomalies. Just phenomenal cold here across the middle part of the nation. When you're some 20, 25 degrees, and you can see the scale right here below normal, and that's in Celsius. That is some impressive cold. And when you're breaking records in places like Minot, North Dakota, Bismarck, North Dakota, Glasgow, Montana, you know it's incredibly cold for this time of the year, because they're normally cold this time of the year anyway. But again, very, very cold air mass with a focus on the central states. But again, it spreads all the way into the east. Certainly temperatures in the Philly suburbs, for example, this morning in the low to middle teens, and that cold extends all the way down into the southeastern part of the nation as well. Now we'll move forward in time, and it takes a few days for this cold to modify. Here we are now all the way into Friday, 48 hours from now, still well below normal. From the Rocky Mountain states all the way to the eastern seaboard, finally modifies by the time we get to the latter part of the upcoming weekend. Here we are on Sunday, kind of a modification, still below normal on Sunday, at least to begin the day throughout the eastern states. Then we get a warm-up going next week that really spreads eastward across the nation by the time we get to Monday and Tuesday of next week. When I say a warm-up, I mean relative to normal for this time of the year. But this current Arctic air outbreak is not the last one that we will see, unfortunately. It looks like by the latter part of next week, we have very strong signs that another Arctic air outbreak will at least make its way into the Great Lakes, Mid-Atlantic, Northeast U.S. This is next Thursday, the 27th, as we're closing out the month of February, and it indeed looks quite cold pattern even beyond that into the beginning part of March. Here we are all the way out, more than 10 days from now, all the way out to Sunday, March 2nd. Quite a bit colder than normal conditions across much of the northern U.S. as we enter the month of February and begin the new month of March. Well, let's take a look at the vorticity field. This is the vorticity field of 500 millibars, about halfway up the atmosphere. Areas of spin in the upper part of the atmosphere that lead to upward motion down at the surface level. And there's two areas of interest right here. What I will call a southern stream system right here over the Tennessee Valley region as we begin the day here on Wednesday, and a northern stream system right here over the northern plains as we begin the day here on Wednesday. Now, let's push forward in time and watch what happens. The southern stream system has low pressure associated with it that this morning is organizing over the northern Gulf. It will move east-northeast to a position off the Carolina coastline, excuse me, by early tomorrow morning. Again, a southern stream wave well out ahead of that northern stream wave. Ultimately, they phase together right in this time period right here. They're starting to coalesce here and phase together right here by later tomorrow, and that is when this low pressure area will really intensify, when it's out over the open waters of the western Atlantic later tomorrow into tomorrow night. There'll be a strong low pressure area right here. Now let's backtrack a little bit. With that southern stream wave moving to the east northeast today, the northern stream wave will move right overhead of the mid-Atlantic region during the day on Thursday. So the bottom line here is I believe D.C. area will get kind of skirted today by the southern stream wave with some snow or snow shower activity or significant snow across the southern mid-Atlantic from the southeastern part of Virginia into the Delmarva, maybe even into the far southern tip of South New Jersey here. But then on Thursday, as that northern stream system passes overhead, there could be a repeat performance in D.C. with some snow or snow shower activity, and certainly on Thursday in Philly and New York City there can be some snow or snow shower activity. So in either case, today in D.C. there can be small accumulations of a coating to an inch or two, especially in the southern areas of the southern suburbs of the D.C. metro area. And then on Thursday can be a coating to an inch or so in D.C., Philly, and New York City associated with this northern stream system. That finally passes on by, and again, that low pressure will intensify rapidly by the time we get to Friday. Another very windy, very cold day setting up for Friday in the mid-Atlantic northeast U.S. with way below normal temperatures, and even below that will be the wind chill values. Very, very cold day on Friday with strong northwest winds and temperatures way, way below normal. Again, by the time we get to the latter part of the weekend, early part of next week, that Arctic chill will finally relax, give up its grip on the U.S., and we'll have a warmer week next week, going at least into the latter part of next week. Well, here are the surface maps now from last night's zero-Z run of the GFS. First of all, very, very strong Arctic high pressure has remained positioned out over the northern plains over the last few days. And again, extreme cold extending this morning from the Dakotas all the way down to Texas, including the Rio Grande Valley region right here. Meanwhile, off to the east, we have low pressure organizing over the northern Gulf Coast this morning. It has cold enough air over the Tennessee Valley for some more accumulating snow here on Wednesday morning, and it generally moves in that east-northeast fashion to a position here by later on this evening off the Carolina coastline. Notice the snow skirts the D.C. metro region. The more significant snow stays to the south and east of D.C. into places like Richmond and Norfolk. Norfolk could see upwards of 10 inches of snow, maybe 5 or so inches in Richmond, Salisbury, Maryland, a southern mid-Atlantic snow event here, again only skirting the D.C. metro area. Then we get into the late night and early morning hours. That system really starts to intensify as the northern stream starts to phase with the southern stream when that surface low pressure area is well off the coastline out over the open waters of the western Atlantic. In fact, let's backtrack a little bit. Look at this 1010 millibar low as of this evening. It intensifies all the way to 997 by early tomorrow morning, and it continues to intensify 987 here out over the western Atlantic. Now, notice back here inland, here is the snow associated with that northern stream system. Again, I think there could be kind of low pressure associated snow today in the D.C. metro area, and then northern stream snow tomorrow in the D.C. area. And tomorrow's snow with that northern stream wave of energy will extend, I believe, all the way up to Philadelphia and New York City as well. So kind of a two-parter here for D.C. and mainly a one-day event on Thursday in Philadelphia and New York City. Here we go. That upper level feature slides off to the east. There can be a coating to an inch or so, both today and again tomorrow in D.C. and on Thursday in Philly and New York City. A complicated weather pattern here. Then by the time we get into tomorrow night and then the early morning hours on Friday, look at this pressure gradient setting up once again. We have very strong low pressure here now off the map here out over the open waters of the North Atlantic, but that incoming strong high pressure, the difference in pressure between this high pressure and the departing low, tight pressure gradient and very strong northwest winds, probably gusting up to 40 miles per hour or so on Friday, so way below normal temperatures. And even below that will be the wind chill values with the winds gusting up to 40 miles per hour or so. So a very cold end to the work week in the mid-Atlantic in the northeast U.S. Then we go through a relatively quiet weekend here on Saturday, but cold. However, temperatures will modify some by the time we get into Sunday afternoon. Only, let's say, moderately cold conditions by the time we get to Sunday, and even warmer, not scorching warm by any means, but even warmer conditions for the first half of next week. But again, it looks like the overall pattern will allow for another shot of cold Arctic air into the Great Lakes, Mid-Atlantic, Northeast U.S. towards the end of next week and going into the beginning of the month of March. That's it for now. For ArcfieldWeather.com, this has been meteorologist Paul Dorian.